Donald Trump, the vile charlatan who smeared the office of the presidency with his grubby little hands, has finally been revealed for what he is: a convicted felon and a blight on American history. Found guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records, Trump's house of cards has come crashing down, exposing the rot and corruption that has always lurked beneath his gaudy gold-plated veneer. This isn't just a legal defeat, it's a catastrophic, humiliating fall for the most grotesque figure ever to occupy the White House. From the moment Trump stumbled onto the political stage, he stoked the flames of hatred, peddling a repugnant agenda that appealed to the worst elements of American society. He was the Pied Piper for white supremacists, racists, and bigots, offering them legitimacy and a platform from which to spew their bile. His entire candidacy was a dog whistle to every xenophobe, misogynist, and neo-Nazi lurking in the shadows, and they rallied to his banner like flies to a carcass. This self-proclaimed stable genius has now been laid bare as nothing more than a common crook, a fraudster who engaged in a sordid hush-money scheme to silence a porn star and protect his fragile ego. His conviction on 34 felony counts underscores the sheer depth of his criminality. Let's be clear, Trump is not just the first president to be convicted of a felony. He is a malignant tumor that has metastasized through the body politic, spreading lies, division, and chaos. The jury's verdict is a brutal indictment of Trump's entire existence, a life marked by deception, grift, and a pathological need for adulation. This is the man who incited a violent insurrection against his own government, who embraced tyrants and despots while spitting on allies and democratic norms. He is the embodiment of everything that is corrupt, venal, and depraved in politics. Trump's presidency was a 4-year festival of malfeasance, an orgy of corruption that saw him cavorting with white supremacists, encouraging their heinous acts and enacting policies that hurt the most vulnerable. His infamous defense of the Charlottesville neo-Nazis as very fine people was not an aberration. It was a clear signal to every racist in the country that they had a friend in the Oval Office. Under his watch, hate crimes soared, and the darkest recesses of American society were given license to emerge, emboldened by his rhetoric. This verdict is more than a legal milestone. It is a death knell for the grotesque ideology that Trump has championed. It is a symbolic evisceration of the bigotry, hatred, and unbridled greed that he represents. It is a reaffirmation that the rule of law still stands, even against a man who tried to place himself above it. Trump's conviction is a reminder that the arc of the moral universe, though it bends slowly, ultimately lands with crushing weight on those who defy justice. As we watch Trump, the braying bully who once swaggered with impunity, being felled by his own hubris, let us revel in the schadenfreude of his downfall. He has been stripped of his pretense, revealed as a petty, small-minded criminal, not a titan, but a tin-pot dictator, wannabe brought low by his own stupidity and arrogance. The implications of this verdict are profound. It is a seismic blow to the legions of sycophants, enablers, and cronies who have hitched their fortunes to Trump's star. It is a repudiation of the corrupt politicians who stood by him, the propagandists who amplified his lies, and the rabid base that terrorized their fellow citizens in his name. In the midst of a closely contested election year, this conviction is a devastating symbolic mortal blow to the forces of reaction that have sought to drag America backward. Trumpism is not dead, but it is gravely wounded. The white supremacists, the conspiracists, and the hate-mongers will undoubtedly seek new champions. But Trump's fall from grace is a stark warning of what awaits those who follow in his footsteps. This is a moment of triumph for truth, justice, and the rule of law. It is a victory for every decent American who has watched in horror as their country was hijacked by a man who embodies the worst of humanity. Now, Donald Trump will be remembered not as a leader, but as a cautionary tale, a felon, a fraud, and a failure. His conviction is a clarion call to all who cherish democracy and decency to remain vigilant, to fight against the forces of hatred and bigotry, and to ensure that this dark chapter in American history is never repeated. Trump has been dealt a grave symbolic mortal blow, and it is our duty to make sure his brand of poison is eradicated from the body politic once and for all.